We're not going to be called terrorists after this, are we?
No.
No. We do support the Second Amendment. Yeah. I don't know what the FBI is doing these days.
They're going through a phase like kids.
Yeah. Last Minute Man. We are back here today on Range 2 with a really nice revolver. Mr. Obvious, what do we have here?
We have a 357 Magnum. It's in a Smith & Wesson Combat Magnum. That's what it's in.
And I'll tell you, these things are beautiful. This was very popular around the same time that the Colt Pythons were really popular. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say this was Smith & Wesson's answer to the Colt Python, but this definitely was an excellent duty pistol. It was something you could take out and carry on your side. Law enforcement use these quite a bit. Mm-hmm. They are very durable. They're still shooting well to this day, and this one's a great example of that. When did you get a hold of this, Mr. Obvious?
Oh, I've had that gun, I guess, about 20 years. I bought that off of a truck driver. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to know what he paid for it.
I give $300 for it.
$300, and this was back in 19 and
probably around 1990 something or another.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. We had a mutual relative that had a revolver just like this, Combat Magnum, and he could just stack bullets with that thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that guy, he practiced and practiced and practiced with this, and very, very impressive the way he would shoot it. And Mr. Obvious is very impressive in the way he shoots it. As usual, I'm kind of lackluster when I shoot them, but it's I'm more of the average guy taking a shot with this.
No, this gun's smooth. Like I say, it's old. It's got a little bit of a wire ring around it. It just took the finish off, but there's no groove in it. These guns, they lock up tight, and it is empty, as you can see. So the gun is just like Last Minute Man said, it's just well balanced. I mean, the barrel, it don't have no weight to the front of it. It just feels like you almost got a gun holding here with a just snub nose or something.
Right. Yeah. It's the weight, the load of it is definitely over the cylinder and everything. The barrel doesn't feel like it's got too much weight. I like these older pistols. One, it doesn't have the dreaded keyhole there. And if you know somebody that uses those, let me know. I don't know why Smith & Wesson ever added that. Mm-hmm. I guess it was a CYA thing as far as like insurance and things like that. I don't see a need for it.
Yeah.
You know, the key lock there to lock your hammer. Mm-hmm. You know, folks, I have a lot of firearms. I keep them locked up. You know, that way kids or something won't get to them. But, you know, in my house anyway, I'm the only one there. There's no
They might want to know the model on that. What is that model? Is that a 19-2 or what?
It is a...
I can't remember what it is.
Model 19-4.
Not -4?
It's a -4. But this does, it has the pin barrel, and it has the firing pin attached to the hammer. And like I said, it doesn't have that dreaded ugly spot there. But just what a beautiful, beautiful pistol. Well made. Smith & Wesson still makes very, very, very fine firearms. I'll say, though, it seems to me like these older ones just had a little more attention to detail. It is countersunk in here, and I'll show pictures probably while we're talking about it here. But the cylinders are countersunk, so you can use speed loaders. And I mean, it's just nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know some of them all like the 44 Magnum. They had like a red bead up here, plastic piece put in on the 44s.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the 357 models did, the newer ones. I can't remember, but yeah, this is the old Combat Magnum, and I tell you, they shoot like a rifle. And if you can hold it, that thing will shoot.
Yeah. I mean, we took some shots off camera, and you can definitely see I tend to dip or lunge forward when I'm shooting. So I'm shooting about 4 inches at, 40 yards there. I'm shooting 4 inches lower than Mr. Obvious shoots. Mm-hmm. And that's all the way I'm holding it, kind of just the way I balance it. I seem to shoot better with like a 4-inch. I tend to not do that as much. I don't know why. That's just a personal thing. It's a training issue. It's not the firearm. But do you want to get out here and do some shooting and kind of show the folks what it'll do?
Yeah, we'll shoot it 50 yards, 100 yards. this closer target, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll shoot offhand and
Knock
do
off a
some
few
sandbag shooting as well.
Knock off a few rounds with it.
All right, stick with us.
All right, Mr. Obvious. So we got a full cylinder, 6 shots.
Yep.
And he's going to take 2 shots here, and then 2 shots at the 50, and 2 shots at the 100. And this is just all offhand. We're going to see how he does. And go right on at it there, Mr. Obvious. I'm looking at the targets. All right. All right, that would have been amazing if you would have done that all hand. But all right, I'm gonna try it and see how I do. So in the interest of ammo conservation, we will be skipping the first target, and Mr. Obvious will be firing at the 50 and the 100. I'm going to go ahead and fire up our secondary camera here, Mr. Obvious.
All right, and let me get behind you. And away we go. This is off sandbags. And that's 100%. That is pretty awesome, Mr. Obvious.
Well, I can't shoot off-handed like I used to. I'm just too shaky.
All right, now I'm going to try my hand at it out here at 50 and 100 off sandbags. Let's see how I do. Okay. And that's a miss.
Right. Hit to the right. Never mind. Dang hit.
All right. So I'm either pulling or the sights were just off for me. But there we go. That's 1 out of 4. And we are back with our after action report. And what do we have to report today, Mr. Obvious?
We're going to report. Oh man, I tell you, bad shooting today.
Well, at least he's got the excuse of just being rusty. He's a has-been, I'm a never was. But that's kind of what you get into when you own a lot of firearms. You're not going to practice with all of them all the time. And I certainly could use a lot more practice with a revolver. And but no, you shot pretty good. I mean,
Well, off sandbags, I can still kill squirrels with that thing, but I'm just older and shakier, and I just can't hold it like I used to.
Well,
at any range. Up close now, you'd see if that target 20 yards, look out.
Yeah.
But get out beyond that, I can't, I'm just too shaky
Now,
anymore.
as far as the carry piece, we were discussing, a revolver's not a bad option for a carry piece.
No, I love them. It's probably about one of my favorite guns other than a 1911, you know.
Yeah. And I love a 1911, although everything's kind of antiquated. I get it. You know, there's polymer pistols and stuff, a lot more capacity and things like that. And that is a give and take that you run into with a revolver. The give is that you're giving up larger capacity. Mm-hmm. You've got 6 rounds, 5 rounds in some instances, and you're giving up reloading speed. But what you're gaining, in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're gaining some accuracy with a revolver, if you train, and you're gaining a lot of power. Because you can carry 44 mag, 357 mag, 500, 454 Casol, all these different rounds, and heavy hitters that are bordering light caliber rifle rounds, but I mean, you can get that in revolver, and you can't in a semi-auto.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the velocity out of that, especially 6-inch barrel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and this is the thumper, you know, and these are hand loads we were shooting today. And Mr. Obvious has his own cocktail there of load that he does, and actually they were shooting a tight group when we shot up close off sandbags.
Yeah, I think these loads is running probably around 1,650 feet per second. So
yeah, I'll tell you, it feels good in the hand too. It's 357, especially when you got weight like this. It doesn't hurt at all. I mean, it's a good gun, just all around. These things are excellent. Smith & Wesson did a great job with the Combat Magnum for sure. And go ahead.
One of my favorite guns, that Combat Magnum. It's just
beautiful.
It's light for a 6-inch barrel. It's a lightweight gun. It's just beautiful. It's easy to hold. It just comes up good. It just lays right in there.
Now, something I kind of hold off on anything that's new in the news. I try to let the dust settle before I mention anything. But you know, we were shooting out here at 50 and 100 yards with a handgun, which I would always say, that's trick shooting. I would have never thought to train to shoot 50 and 100 yards, but you never know what's going to happen. And, you know, this recent event that happened in Indiana at the mall, I won't mention the young man's name because I don't know that he really wants to be mentioned, but he did an amazing job. I would have never, and I've heard various, and still the dust isn't fully settled because we still don't have all the data, but he shot anywhere from 30 to 40 yards and was able to hit a enemy, somebody shooting and with all the chaos and the blood, and he was able to shoot very accurately, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
At 30 to 40 yards, and that is just amazing. I've been in the military, you know, I've been in firefights overseas. I'm not positive I could have pulled that off, especially not with this today.
Yeah.
But yeah, you never know what you're going to run into. I would have said, you know, 6 months ago, you know, train for the 21-foot rule. You know, that's what you're doing. You're training for a real engagement, but now a true engagement can be 40, 50 yards. I mean, with a handgun, that's pretty impressive. Firearms are only going to go up in value, folks. It's a good investment. Invest in your own security, your own safety. Invest in yourself. Invest in your family. Owning a firearm is just a wonderful thing. Even if you've got grandpa's old revolver, practice with it. Get good with it. You don't have to have the newest, hottest thing, a 5.7 or something like that. Just practice with what you got, and you're going to be okay.
You can't go out here and shoot every gun in the world like rifles and shooting at distance. You get one gun, get good with it.
Still have freedom here in the United States, the Second Amendment, and so long as the FBI don't track people that have a "Don't Tread on Me" flag, there's some silly things going on out there. I know we're going in a tangent here, but there's a lot to cover that's going on. Don't be intimidated by your government. You are allowed to have a firearm. For the love of God, you've got the Second Amendment. Government did not give you that right. Okay? The Creator gave you that right. Says so right in the document. We are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. And the government cannot take that from you. You have a right to defend yourself. You have a right to own firearms. Just be responsible. Teach yourself. Practice. It's wonderful if you can afford to go take these awesome courses, and you got the gun gurus out there. There's a lot of them that really know what they're doing, and to train with people anytime you could do that is an awesome thing. But if you can't afford that, there's nothing wrong with getting your firearm, going to a range, and shooting and teaching yourself. You can learn a lot by reading books, watching videos, and just train yourself. Get out. Get behind the trigger, you know, even dry fire exercises. There's a lot you can do to get good with any firearm. So yeah, don't let people intimidate you and say, oh man, you're going to have some stigma if you believe the Betsy Ross flag is a symbol of freedom. Okay, we're entering a stage of absolute lunacy, and I don't think the general public is that ignorant. But your federal government, you've got a lot of people who have never been outside their bubble. They've never been outside their little microcosm of society. They've never lived in the country. They've never hunted. never gotten their own food, never processed the deer. They don't know how to grow crops or plant a tree. They've never done anything. These are people that went from law school to the government. They've never actually produced or done anything, which is why.
Thought and theory of it is, because I'm so old, I've been around so long, that they've got laws in place. The laws is there. They were not enforcing them because they want to prove a point to you. Look, we got a problem. Look, we got a problem. They they won't enforce that law to keep proving. They're letting people do stupid stuff to say, we got a problem, we got a problem. Let them do some more stupid stuff so we can show the American people, we got a problem, we got a problem. No, enforce that law and you won't have no problem.
Well, that is a very good point. Yeah.
They're just trying to use that for an excuse to throw on TV every time something bad.
Well, 90% of people are law-abiding citizens. Okay, so 10% of any given population is violent and is capable of performing violent acts. People, we live in a free society. You can't stop that kind of thing. You can prepare yourself for it, but there's always going to be crazy people. There's always going to be evil in the world. So prepare yourself for it. Prepare yourself.
They have since the beginning of time.
It's always been with us.
And it will be to the end of time.
Unfortunately, like I said, if somebody can come up with a cure for crazy, stupid, and evil, we'll have this sucker licked. But until then, this is your best medicine. Defend yourself, protect yourself, always have situational awareness. Know what's going on around you. You don't have to be paranoid and jumping at everything that goes bump, but you do need to have your head on a swivel if you're in a public place. Watch, letting someone know that they're there is probably your best defense. If you're walking down a dark alley or something and you see something that looks out of place, acknowledge it. Let them know they're there. You're not an easy target. So with that, is there anything else, Mr. Obvious?
Subscribe to Last Minute Man.
Keep your knives sharp, keep your powder dry.
Hit that bell button.